Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chris, and this is, of course, my channel, Barn on 11970. And as always, thank you guys for taking the time to watch my video. All right, guys, as you can see by the title of this video, it's about how you can change the world. Now, one of the biggest programs that you will ever have in your life that we've had since childhood is that they've basically programmed us to believe that we always have to wait for an outside source to be able to come and rescue us, whether it be the religious aspect of a God or Jesus or whoever you believe in coming to save you, or your childhood youth where you see superheroes are always coming to save the day, or you're led to believe that some politician is going to step up amongst all the corruption and that person is going to be the one that comes to save the day. And we notice as we get older, we get more and more cynical, because these situations are always a day away. In other words, they'll always have the ability to say, well, this person or these people or this event is coming. It's just a matter of time. So you spend your whole life waiting and waiting and waiting until one day it's too late. So they program you through repetition to believe that if you have a problem, you have to, in religion, pray for it, in politics, vote for it, and in regular life, wait for it. In other words, they don't want you to realize that you are Dorothy and you have the power to go home all along. And as I've been doing in a lot of my videos lately, even though there are plenty of people who don't understand what I speak of, and that's fine, that just means they're not on that level yet, and hopefully one day they will, is that for anything to happen, it has to be you making the change. Because when we sit around and people promise us the world and tell us other supernatural beings or politicians or certain situations are going to come and save the day, we rely on other people and constantly get disappointed and let down. And that's why if you look at your politicians, how many corrupt politicians are there throughout all governments? When you look at religion, how many times has that particular God in their particular prophecy come to save us? How many people have seen a real-life Superman? And after a while, we lose hope. And that's what happens when we give away our power, our energy, our ability to make change. And we give it to someone else, and they take advantage of it. And that's why they'll always have some scary monster around the corner ready to grab at you, and some other event ready to steal from you, and everything to keep you scared, timid, and depressed, and angry, and confused, and focusing on the wrong messages, while they steal everything from you, while you're doing all the hard labor, you're using your blood, sweat, and tears, so they can go play golf the rest of their lives. In order to make change, you have to make your own change. And we've seen this even with Obama's slogan back in 2008. And I remember it well because I thought he was our next savior back then when I was a sheep. And he went on the platform of change. Little did he know that they didn't specifically say what that change was. And it's definitely not the change we've all been looking for. And you can't blame him. He's a punching bag. He gets paid lots of money for everyone to focus on him instead of the others in the background that are dishing out the fiat currency. They're the ones in real control. And we could sit here and complain. We can sit here and hold up picket signs. And we could riot. We can kill and attack our fellow brothers and sisters. And they will still be in control. Or if you decide today is the day I no longer want to sit around and I actually want to do something, you can change the world. It only takes one person. It just takes the right person. And that's one of my strengths, is if I can inspire somebody, maybe some younger person out there who isn't as tainted as most of the people in this world, who aren't bitter at this point, who haven't been bombarded with decades of hatred and fear and anger and toxic chemicals and disappointment, that maybe they still have that youthful ability. They just needed to be kickstarted in the right direction, pushed onto that road. If you do not believe in what you say, no one else ever will. So when you try and convince someone else of your ideals, are you really convincing them, or are you trying to convince yourself? It's like a person that says, oh, I'm very secure with myself, and I'm very confident, and I love who I am, and, I just want to let you know I think I'm a great person. Well, a real confident person doesn't need to say that on a regular basis. And I'm sure people have friends out there that are like that are always trying to tell you how secure a person they are, to the point where it's almost obsessive. So maybe they're just trying to convince themselves. So if you want to change the world, sitting around waiting for other people because you don't think you're good enough is never going to get it done. It's all about change. It's all about knowing that you are here for a reason. But because of free will, and we all have it, we have the ability to do everything, anything, or nothing. So if you want to spend your whole life hurting your fellow brothers and sisters, that is your choice. If you're a person that wants to sit around feeling sorry for yourself, that is your choice. If you want to say, today's the day I want to change the world and I'm going to do everything I can, you will. You just have to look in the mirror and see that you are part of perfection. Is this a perfect world? I guess that depends on the person that you speak with. But you could make it into the best thing that you can by putting your effort into it, by putting your heart and soul into things, to not letting other people let you down and disappoint you because you're trusting their word. Because at the very least, they may be mistaken in what they offer, and at the very worst, they could be lying to you. And we've been conditioned to wait for someone else to save the day. And we wonder, why are things getting worse and not better? When you're hungry, you could sit around and say, boy, I hope somebody brings me food, or I hope somebody feeds me. Or you can get up and get your food and make your own plate. That gets it done quicker. You have to be inspired. Excuse me. See, that's why I don't edit my videos. I like to keep it real. Hopefully none of you have 3D glasses. But my point is you have to stop doubting yourself and know that you may not know the way, but you've gotten this far in life, so you've been doing something right. And if you say, well, I've had nothing but negative and nothing but hardship and nothing but pain, well, that's in your past. You can't change it. That's like spending all of your money and time and effort and passion into trying to revive the dead. What's gone is gone. Don't focus on it anymore. Learn from it. It doesn't mean you can forget it, because you can't forget your past, but you can let it not affect your present and your future. Trust me, I had a very difficult life. I lived with an alcoholic stepfather since I was 10. I had shotguns to my head. He was an alcoholic. He actually, one time when I was about 10 years old, he went to me and said, here's some NyQuil, hide it. And at 10 years old, I'm like, why is he asking me to hide cough medicine? It didn't make sense. Until later on, I learned that when alcoholics can't get alcohol, they will resort to cough medicine, especially ones like NyQuil, because they have a lot of alcohol in them. So I've had a very difficult road. I had a very abusive stepfather. I've had some times I wouldn't wish on my worst enemies. But instead of feeling sorry for myself and becoming an alcoholic or becoming a woman abuser or becoming a generally bad, horrible, uncaring person, I decided that I'm going to be everything he wasn't. So you can make lemonade out of lemons, but it's your choice. It's your choice to feel sorry for yourself, or it's your choice to be better. If everybody tells you you can't do something, the average person will say, oh, I guess you're right. The really strong will say, I'll be the first. So it depends on your passion, your heart, your perspective, your mind, your compassion. Yes, I care, which means I'm sensitive. There's a price to pay for these things. I would rather be a caring person that cries seeing an animal get tortured than a person that could be there torturing that animal with a smile on their face, with no feeling. Is that the person you want to be? I seriously doubt it, because you probably wouldn't be here. And if you were here, you wouldn't be watching this. You'd just be thumbing it down like the other hater people in my life that are there to do nothing but evil. It's a choice. If you want to change the world, then you put everything in your power to do it. And I'm going to show you it's nothing more than priority. Because I'll give you an example. If I said to you, you have 30 days to make $1 million, what would you do? You'd probably laugh it off. You'd probably say, no, I can't do it. Or it's impossible. Or you'd think it was a joke. You wouldn't take it seriously. So in other words, in 30 days, you wouldn't get $1 million. Well, let's say I did this situation, and God forbid something like this ever happens. I don't want to wish this on my worst enemy. But let's say I decide to kidnap your children, and I show you a videotape of your children tied up. And I say to you, you have 30 days to come up with $1 million, or I will film the death of your child. Do you think you'd get that $1 million? Of course you would, or you'd die trying. Now, what was the difference? The difference was incentive. Nothing else changed. You went from I can't do it to I must do it. And that's the difference. That's what they don't want you to find out about yourself, is it depends on your drive. Because you know what? I may not be a millionaire. I may not ever be Donald Trump, nor do I want to be. But you know what? Since 1998, I've basically survived on my own when everybody else said I was going to fail. And I've had my house robbed. Everything of mine was destroyed. I had an ex-fiancé that robbed me blind for years by putting credit cards under my name that I didn't find out about until years later. And I can feel sorry for myself. But that's a choice. So if you want to make the world a better place, then do it. Stop listening to the people who say you can't, or you shouldn't, or no one else has done it. Who cares? That means they're too scared to make that effort. It's the one thing my haters will never understand, because they'll never contribute anything good. Because that takes effort, that takes passion, that takes thought. They can't offer those things. It's easy to spread hate. It's easy to go up to somebody and say, I hate you. It's easy to go and destroy something that somebody created or insult it. That takes no effort. It takes a lot of effort to be passionate, to create, to heal, to help, to guide, to teach, to inspire. Because if you're watching this right now and you feel good about this and you feel inspired and you feel motivated, well, you know what? That was my heart showing you the right direction and you felt it. And we don't have to be next to each other, because you know what, ladies and gentlemen, we're made of light. And the last time I checked, although I can't verify it because I don't have that fast of a stopwatch, but light travels at 186,400 miles per second, which means it's already there by the time you hear the words. And if you feel it, then you know. And where do you feel it? You feel it in your heart. So follow your heart. Don't follow your head. Because your head will always make you feel you're inferior, because the groups, the masses of people who are programmed on how to think and how to live and what to wear and who to be will always discourage you, because then you'll be separate from them, and they don't like that. That's why misery loves company. So if you have to be alone to create a change in the world, so be it. You know, people love to say people like myself and others are crazy for what we do. What about Einstein? Was he typically normal, average, everyday person? What about Malcolm X or JFK or any person that made change or created something? What about Nikola Tesla? Did he seem like the average person? Maybe you have to be a little crazy. Maybe the idea of actually thinking in a different way makes it crazy to other people who never will make that effort out of fear. And the only way they can feel better and sleep at night is to make fun of those very people, to keep them down to their level, instead of rising them above. to inspire people to make the world a better place. Because like it or not, ladies and gentlemen, we're all humans. Whether you're black or white, Chinese or Cuban, or you're gay or straight, Republican, Democrat, I hate to tell you this, we're all humans. So when you insult and hurt someone, you're insulting your fellow brothers and sisters. Does that make you proud? And you let other people bring you down. Don't ever let people bring you down. And they could be right 5 million times. They could say to your face, oh, well, this has never happened before. So be the first. But get it done. Because this world is counting on somebody out there to make an effort that we all are waiting for. Because that's what the majority of people are doing. They're waiting. If I can inspire somebody, I've done good. And if you can inspire somebody, who knows what can be done. It's time we put the price in our own hands and our fates in our own minds and our own hearts. Or we could sit around and listen to promise after promise and be let down every single time. But in the end, it's still you who suffers while they reward themselves for the theft and destruction of their fellow men and women. And that is not the way to live. So you want to make this world a better place? Figure it out, because we're counting on you. I believe in you. Maybe it's time you start believing in yourself. Share this video, get it out there, and get it done. We need you. It's time to wake up. Peace.